And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, December 8th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. And many of the stories read here can also be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Despite public outcry earlier in the year, Wisconsin Assembly Republicans released their draft of a new mining bill today that was very similar to the draft mining bill shelved earlier this spring. The bill introduced December 8 still slashes public input and exempts iron mining from existing environmental laws. Quote, they obviously haven't listened to the people and didn't learn from the last fiasco. The draft mining bill leaked last spring, said Amber Meyer-Smith, director of the Government Relations for Clean Wisconsin. I don't know how anyone could say with a straight face that this bill doesn't contain huge rollbacks to environmental laws and gut the public input process. The legislature is rewriting Wisconsin's mining laws as Gogebic Taconite, a subsidiary of the West Virginia-based mining corporation called the Klein Group, proposes to build a massive strip mine near Ashland, Wisconsin. The corporation has leased the mineral rights to 22,000 acres in the Pinocchio Range at the headwaters of the pristine Bad River and above the Kakagan Sloughs, the home to thousands of pounds of wild rice harvested by Ojibwe members. A draft mining bill released this spring contained language that would have fast-tracked mining proposals, limited public input, and provided for an unprecedented elimination of environmental protections. That bill was shelved after an immense public outcry. Assembly Republicans claim that they will hold a public hearing on this bill next Wednesday, December 14th at 10 a.m. at the Wisconsin State Fair Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, about 350 miles away from the proposed mine site, and the people it will impact. Leadership has indicated that this is the only hearing they will have on that bill. Viajas Casino near the San Diego, California, and its team members and guests have donated more than 3,000 toys for the Salvation Army serving eastern San Diego and western Imperial counties. Viajas Casino announced a grand total of 3,231 toys donated this holiday season by team members and the guests at the annual Salvation Army Holiday Party and Auction held December 7th at the Dreamcatcher at their casino. As the total number was announced, the curtain was raised on the stage, revealing the thousands of new toys destined for needy children and families in the two-county region. Also, at that night's annual Salvation Holiday Party and Auction, the Viajas Casino presented Salvation Army Captain Terry Masango with a check for $25,000 raised at the recent Celebrity Slot Tournament. Backers of the University of North Dakota is fighting this. Okay, this is a story that just won't go away. It's like that little rabbit that runs around and has no batteries and goes forever. Backers of the University of North Dakota's Fighting Sioux nickname and logo have filed petitions, forms, and sponsor lists with the state, hoping to put the issue before voters. The forum reports that paperwork was filed last week with the Secretary of State. The school wants to shed its 81-year-old nickname after a drawn-out dispute with the NCAA. The NCAA says the name and the school's American Indian logo are offensive to Native Americans. North Dakota lawmakers voted last month to allow UND to get rid of the moniker. The Fort Sill Apache are gearing up for another round in their long-running fight to open a casino in southern New Mexico. The tribe last week was granted a 30,000-acre reservation near Deming, the first new reservation in that state in decades. With the status, Chairman Jeff Hauser says the tribe is again hoping to develop a casino. But as Hauser prepares to travel the state to win support from the governor, opponents are also lining up. U.S. Senator Jeff Bingaman sent Interior Secretary Ken Salazar a letter this week outlining what he says is a long-standing opposition to gaming by the tribe. Bingaman wrote to Salazar, I'm in strong opposition to the tribe's efforts, and I urge you to deny any request to approve gaming on this land, he wrote. The Mescalero Apache, who run an upscale hotel and casino in Ruidoso, are expected to maintain their opposition to any casino that would tap into their El Paso and La Cruces markets. Okay, the Seneca Indian Nation leaders say they will vigorously fight to protect the tribe's status as the sole operator of casinos in western New York as Governor Andrew Cuomo and legislative leaders there agreed to pursue an expansion of commercial gambling to raise revenues and create jobs. The Seneca operate the 3 casinos under a 2002 compact with then Governor George Pataki that requires them to share revenues with the state in the cities of Buffalo, Niagara Falls, and Salamanca, where the casinos are located. The compact guarantees the Seneca exclusive gambling rights in 14 western New York counties through the year 2023. The Seneca believe the state has already violated the exclusivity clause by permitting slot machines at racetracks within the 14-county zone and the video game Moxie Mania in bars. The tribal council has been withholding the state and local government's casino cut, totaling now almost $330 million for nearly 3 years. The issue is likely to be settled by an arbitrator. Washington state Republican legislative leaders want to let non-tribal casinos offer the same slot machines as tribal casinos, with the cash-strapped state receiving a cut of the revenue. Advocates say it will bring in nearly $160 million next fiscal year and $380 million in the subsequent 2 years. Lawmakers have gathered in Olympia for a special session looking for ways to deal with a $2 billion budget deficit. Republicans say they want to help level the playing field for small, non-tribal gambling halls that compete with tribal casinos. Democrats who control the legislature aren't thrilled with the idea, and the governor tells the Seattle Times she doesn't see the proposal going anywhere. A Pryor, Montana woman says her 15-year-old son shot her husband to death during a family fight after saying, "You'll never touch my mother and sisters again." Tanya Rides Horace told the Billings Gazette she didn't believe the hunting rifle her son received for Christmas last year was loaded. She says she thought her son was just trying to scare her husband. Henry Mickey Rides Horace was shot around 1:30 a.m. on December 2nd. Tanya says she and Mickey were married for 17 years and have 5 children. Tanya Rides Horace said her son was being held in a juvenile detention center off the Crow Reservation there. American Indian schools in the Dakotas are among recipients of grants from the Shakopee-Mdewakanton Sioux community. In South Dakota, the Flandreau Indian School in Flandreau received $35,000 to support a behavioral incentive program and extracurricular activities, including a rodeo club. St. Joseph's Indian School in Chamberlain received $20,000 for a program for at-risk high school students and for cultural activities. In North Dakota, the Circle of Nations School in Wahpeton got $8,000 for winter clothing for students. And that is another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining with us and come back often.